Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down, chair yoga for everyone. I'm Carol. I'm so glad you've joined us today. Check out the sections on the Bottoms Down YouTube channel homepage. They just make it easier for you to find classes by length or purpose or body area. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. It's free and we would love to hear from you, so leave a comment. In today's practice, we'll explore poses for tension relief. You'll only need your chair, and let's get started. All right, we're going to move forward in our chair so we're not leaning back. Let's go ahead and take a moment to ground those feet to the floor, thinking about having those 4 pressure points in each foot equally weighted on the floor. And then we're going to think about grounding our sits bones to the chair so we're equally weighted. We're not leaning one way or the other. Let's place our hands on our thighs. Flip those palms up to the ceiling if that works for you. Close your eyes and let's connect to that heart center. Focusing in on what you want to accomplish today. Beginning to notice that breath. If it works for you, let's inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Begin to elongate that breath, inhaling a little more deeply and exhaling a little more completely. Moving into that diaphragmatic breath, that belly breath, the yoga breath. As we inhale, the belly extends as we fill the lungs from the bottom up. And as we exhale, actively pull the belly button towards the spine and push the air up and out of the lungs. Do that a few times. Go ahead and breathe normally. We're going to inhale to 4 counts and exhale to 5. See if you can maintain that belly breath. Inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart and set your intentions for today's practice, focusing on what you want to accomplish. One more breath here. Bring your hands back down to your thighs and open your eyes. Let's just look over that right shoulder very gently. We're not trying to overextend that neck, just nice and gentle. Let's go ahead and look center, and then we're going to look the other way. We're going to look center. Let's do that one more time. And look center and the other way. I don't know about you, but I hear crinkle, crackle, crunch whenever I move my head that way. Let's roll those shoulders just a little bit. I know, right? It's all good. And let's reverse that roll. All right, so you've got 2 options here. One is to clasp the hands behind your back and squeeze your shoulder blades and lift your heart. The other is just to go ahead and grab the back of your chair, if that feels a little bit better for you, okay? Your choice, either is fine. All right, so I'm going to clasp my hands behind my back. I'm going to lift my heart up. Wherever you are, lift that heart up first and squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back. Okay, we're going to do some little nose circles. So that nose is just making a tiny little circle. Just a tiny, tiny little circle. And now we're going to begin to make that circle a little bit bigger. and a little bit bigger. So just kind of like thinking about uncoiling a spring or something, right? Just a little bit bigger, and now we're going to go ahead and make it pretty big, and now just as big as you can possibly make it. Now don't lose that squeeze behind your back, okay? So that's kind of the key to this one. Let's go ahead and stop those circles, and we're going to reverse them, all right? So let's start big first. Big circles around, and then you're going to just tighten that coil and tighten that coil and tighten that coil. Don't lose that squeeze behind the back, right? Tiny, tiny, tiny circles now. Tiny circles, tiny circles, tiny circles, and release. Woo! Do a little shoulder roll there. Oh my goodness. Maybe you do one at a time, right? If you prefer that, that's all right too. Excellent. All right. So we're going to move into some pelvic tilts. And if you feel right here on your hips, you've got two really pointy bones on the pelvis. So we're going to take those pointy bones and we're going to rock them towards our shoulders. So I'm going to turn just so you can see me. You stay facing me, but so you can see me a little bit better. See, I'm rocking hip tips to shoulders, and I've got a little pelvic tilt happening there. And then we're going to do hip tips to knees. And now I've got a pretty nice, arch to that back. Let's do that again. Forward, back, hip tips to shoulders, and then hip tips to knees. Let's keep doing that a couple more times here. Let's add a breath. Let's inhale as we go to our shoulders, and then exhale as we externally rotate, and do that again. Internally and externally. Just one more. Such a nice warm up for that spine. It's also a release of tension in that low back. So not only do we hold our tension, as I'm going to chat here for just a minute, let's go ahead and move down into our mountain pose. So we're going to start by bringing our hands out by our side. Palms are going to face out if that works for you. That's just going to open those shoulders a little bit more, and you're kind of pressing those fingertips down towards the floor. So we do hold tension in our neck and upper back and all of that, but we also hold tension in our hips and in our low back. So we'll be doing some work in that area as well today. All right, now we're going to move into those goalpost arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades back behind you. And then we're going to shoot our fingertips up to the ceiling, but we're going to leave those shoulders down, all right? Now, with your right hand, grasp that left wrist, lengthen through, and then lean. Oh yeah, that should feel really good. Now, as you lean, you want to press this opposite hip down, okay? So really lengthening through that sideways. Let's come up. We're going to grab the other wrist. We're going to lengthen up first and lean. Oh yeah, that feels so good. Let's come up and let's bring those hands down. We're going to do that one more time, just like that. Down we go. So I'm trying to get those fingertips down towards the floor. My heart is lifted, extending through the spine, goalpost arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind your back. You got it. Up we go to the ceiling. Now with our left hand, we're going to grab that right wrist and lengthen first and lean. Oh, that feels good. Remember to press that opposite hip down. Up we go. Let's lengthen towards the ceiling first and lean. Up we go and release. Excellent work. Just a little roll. Anytime you want to roll those neck and that shoulder, that's fine. Okay, with your right hand, you're going to place your hand on the outside of that opposite knee. Opposite hand's going to come onto the chair behind your hips. Now you're going to pull this shoulder back first and just simply turn and look over that shoulder. It's not a deep twist, just feeling that beginning stretch through the sideways, the center of the body, right? One more breath here. Let's go ahead and face forward. We're going to do the other side. This hand to the outside of that knee, opposite hand on the chair. Lengthen through the spine first. Turn and look. Just one more breath here. Go ahead and face center. Take a deep breath in. And a full breath out. And let's grab a sip of water. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is a scalene stretch. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hand and place it right under your collarbone, the opposite collarbone. And we're going to pin those muscles, okay? So you're just going to kind of find there's a little group of muscles there, and you're going to press and hold those muscles. Now, I want you to look over the same shoulder, and you may feel those, they're trying to move, and you're holding them down. Go ahead and look center, and we're going to look over the other side. Other shoulder, I should say. We're going to look center. Now we're going to look up over that shoulder. Come center, and we're going to look up to the other side. Go ahead and look center and release, okay? So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to reach up, pin those muscles right below that collarbone. Okay? All right, here we go. We're going to look over the same shoulder first. Don't let those muscles, trying to hold those muscles as you stretch, right? So there are these scalene muscles, trying to get them a little bit of a stretch. Let's go ahead and look center, and we're going to look at the other way. Now, you won't feel it as much this way, but it's still a good stretch. Go ahead and look center. Now we're going to look up towards the ceiling at a diagonal. We're going to look center, and then let's look down the opposite direction. Look center and release. All right, very, very good. So this next group is for the muscles that help us raise our shoulders. So we're just going to do a little stretch for those. So let's start with the right hand. With your right hand, you're going to reach behind your right shoulder. And you're just going to pin, again, we're going to pin those muscles, all right? So now we're going to look down the opposite direction. Oop, I've got my hair. That's not good. There we go. All right, let's look down in the opposite direction. So you're kind of looking down at the floor on the outside of that opposite leg. Does that make sense? I don't know about you, but I feel this one, especially if I really pay attention and pin those muscles and not let them move. Let's go ahead and look up and release, all right? So we're going to do the other side, and then the add-on is where we gently pull on the head. But let's do it this way first, and know that you can always just maintain this position. So again, I've got this hand, it's holding on to, it's pinning those muscles behind that shoulder, and I'm looking over the opposite, down towards the floor, over the opposite leg. And up we go and release. Okay, the add-on here, so let's go ahead and do that again. So your right hand is on the right side, you're holding those muscles, right? We're going to look down. Now, if you want a little bit more, you're going to reach up with the opposite hand and just gently, ever so gently, give that head just a little tug. So now you might feel a little more stretch. One more breath here. All right, take the hand off the head first. Release and lift that head up. I really felt that one. All right, other side. Here we go. Hand is going to reach back. Hold those muscles in place. Let's go ahead and look down first. Now, if you want more, you're going to reach up with that right hand and just gently, ever so gently, pull on that head. You might just place the hand on the head, right, and not even tug. Just giving yourself that extra weight. One more breath here. Take the right hand off the head first. Release the muscles in the shoulder and then lift that head up. I don't know about you, but I really felt that one. Okay, so we're going to move into some elbow circles. You're going to place your hands, your fingertips are going to be on your shoulders, all right? So as you inhale, you're going to send your shoulders forward, and they're going to touch, just kind of kiss each other, all right? Exhale, your elbows are going to move up to the ceiling. We're going to be going pretty slow right now, so don't worry so much about the breath. But I'm just giving it to you because we are going to be moving a little more fluidly, and you might want to add that breath. All right, now our elbows are going to go back. You're going to like squeeze those shoulder blades behind you, like you're pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. Belly remains tight. And now you're going to let those elbows fall to the floor and feel the weight stretching the tops of those shoulders, okay? Do you feel that? All right, let's go ahead here and do a little head nod, yes, and a head shake, no, and a head nod, yes. All right, now we're going to reverse it. So we're going to go back first, and then we're going to go up, and then we're going to go forward, and then we're going to go down. All right, let's release that for a moment. You kind of feel it? So we're going to do that a couple more times, a little more fluidly, and we'll add that breath, all right? If you don't want to add the breath, leave it out. It's fine. Here we go. Fingertips on those shoulders. All right, here we go. Inhale up. Exhale, shoot those elbows to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind as you inhale. Exhale, down they go. And reverse it. Back we go, inhale. Exhale, up. Down we go. Kiss those elbows together. And to the floor. Let's hang out here and just hold onto those shoulders. Do a head nod, yes. And a head shake, no. And a head nod, yes. Can we do it one more time? Here we go. Up to the ceiling. There's your exhale. Squeeze. And down they go. And let's reverse it up. Squeeze behind you. Elbows to the ceiling. Reverse it down. Kiss. And down we go. Elbows to the floor. Holding onto those shoulders. Head nod, yes. And shake, no. And a nod, yes. And release. Take just a moment here. Right? You might want to roll those shoulders a little or move around just a little bit. The next thing we're going to move into are eagle arms. So to begin with, all we're going to do is hug ourselves. So taking our right arm on top, we're going to just give ourselves a really big hug. Just feeling that stretch. All right, let's open, and now the other arm is going to go on top. And just hug yourself and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and release. Okay, that's a great version, and if you want to keep doing that version, do it. If you want a little bit more, we're going to move into eagle arms. So we'll bring those forearms parallel to one another, and then we're going to take the right hand and we're going to bring it underneath, and maybe the backs of the palms are together or maybe the fronts of the palms are together. Either is fine. Lift up and then forearms away from your body. So there's a nice stretch into the upper back. I don't know if you feel it, but boy, I do. Keep those shoulders down. Keep the belly tight. One more breath here. Let's unravel and go to the other side. Are we ready? Here we go. Parallel arms first. Other arm is going to come underneath. Either backs of the hands are together or your palms can be together. Lift up and forearms away from the face. So here's the thing. If the only way for you to get the fronts of the palms together is for you to have to move your wrist in a weird position, then I'd rather you keep the backs of the palms together, right? It's fine. But that up and away from your body, that's where you're really going to get the bulk of that stretch. Oh my goodness. One more breath and unravel. Let's go ahead and just move around just a little bit there. Does that feel good? Excellent. Okay. Let's all move forward in our chair. And the first thing we're going to do is take our knees. Let's go ahead and bring those feet a little bit closer together. And we're going to take our knees and let them just fall to the right. Okay, so I'm going to move a little bit further forward. And there we go. Let those knees just fall to the right. Okay? Now, what you're going to do is grab your chair behind your back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now, you're going to look over that opposite shoulder. Now, if your shoulders are beginning to creep up into the ears, I want you to really think about squeezing those shoulder blades down and back, okay? And then looking over that opposite shoulder. All right, let's release the hands first. Let's look center and bring those knees in. Is that feeling okay? Let's do the other side. We're going to let those knees fall. Grab the back of the chair. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind. See how I kind of lift it up as I squeeze my shoulder blades behind? And then I'm going to look over the other shoulder. Just one more breath here. Let's release the chair. Bring your face forward and bring those knees in. Can we do that just one more time? Here we go. Knees fall. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind, looking over that opposite shoulder. Release the chair. Bring the face forward. Knees in. Other side. Grab the chair. Squeeze, look the other direction. Release the chair, look forward, bring the knees in, and release. All right, very, very good. I'm just going to move back a little bit. I still want to be a little bit forward in my chair. We're going to move into a half Lord of the Fishes pose. We're going to take that right knee and open it wide, making sure those knees stay in alignment with the second toe, so we're getting a nice stretch from the inside of that thigh. Let's bring that hand all the way across your body. You're going to grab the chair, lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling, turn, and look over the back of your chair. So it's a nice stretch for the center of the body, but you also should be feeling this extended leg, the inner thigh, stretching. Let's go ahead and release that, face forward. Keep that leg open. Your body faces forward, and let's do that again. Here we go. All the way across the body, grab the chair, lift and twist. We just have one more breath here, and release. Let's go ahead and face forward, and we're going to go to the other side. All right, here we go. Open up nice and wide, making sure those knees are tracking to the toes, inner thigh are stretching. Let's bring that arm all the way across the body, grab the chair, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling, turn, and look over the back of that chair and breathe. So you should be feeling the inner thigh of that right leg, the leg that's facing me, that should really be stretching. Go ahead and release it, and let's do that again. Bring it all the way across, lift and twist, and breathe. We have one more breath here, and release and face forward. Very good. Okay, so our next series is going to be a forward fold, and I'm going to give you a few options here. So if putting that head all the way down between your legs is uncomfortable, or it makes you dizzy, or it gets your blood pressure up, then you're going to do this first version, and it's just fine, and you won't be adding on, okay? And it's fine. All right, so we're going to heel, toe, those feet a little bit wide, all right? So if you can have them at least the width of the chair legs, maybe a little bit more, that would be excellent. So the hinging is happening right at the hips, keeping the back flat. We're going to place our hands on our thighs for support and begin to let that heart fall forward, all right? If you keep the back flat, you're going to feel a little more stretch in that back and in that neck, all right? So just keep the back in alignment, the spine and the neck are all in alignment for this first version. We're holding onto those thighs And we're feeling a nice stretch through the back and maybe the hips. One more breath here, and let's all come back up and release. Okay, so that's excellent. That's a great version, and if that version works good for you, then you're going to stick right there. Otherwise, if you're with me, what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing, but then when we get forward, we're going to go ahead and let our head come a little bit further down. We'll be a little bit more into an inversion, which if that doesn't work for you, you're going to stay here, right? You're not going to do it. But if you're with me, then we're going to let our head fall just a little bit, and you're going to get a little more stretch into the neck, okay? Here we go. Extend through the spine long. We're going to hinge forward. Hands are on those thighs. Forward fold. Okay, so remember, we're all in this position right here, and this could be great. If you want a little bit more, you're going to go ahead and let that head begin to fall a little bit more down towards your, kind of the top of the head is towards the floor. You're tucking your chin. Looking under the chair, if you will. You're breathing here. One more breath, and we're going to go ahead and roll it up nice and slow, keeping those hands on those thighs and releasing. So that's another really good version. Now the next version is I'm going to take my hands off of my thighs and I'm going to put them on the floor, okay? Or you can be holding onto your ankles or your shins if that feels better for you, if touching the floor isn't really available to you, and that's okay. All right, so let's do that again, extending through the spine, hinging forward. Remember, we've got version 1 right here. We've got version 2 where we're going ahead and tucking our chin and letting our head fall. Now we've got version 3 where either you're going to put your hands on the floor or maybe you're holding onto your ankles or your shins. And see if you can let that head fall just a little bit more, feeling that stretch. The weight of the head is pulling and giving your neck a nice little stretch there. All right, are we ready? Let's everybody put your hands back on your thighs and roll it up slowly. Okay, so that's another great version. So the final version of this series is we're going to go ahead and move down into that forward fold. Our hands are on the floor or our hands are on our thighs, our ankles. Then you're going to release, you're going to grab your elbows. And the weight, peek at me real quick. So when you're here, the weight of those elbows is really giving you a nice stretch. All right, so if you want to do that, then do so. If you don't want to do it, then you've got other versions. Okay, are we ready? Extending through the spine. Here we go. Hands are on those thighs. We're going to come forward. If you're up for it, we're going to keep going. If you're up for it, your hands are going to come to the floor or to your ankles. Go ahead and hang out here in that forward fold for just a couple more breaths. Now, if you so desire, you're going to take your hands off the floor, grab your elbows, and there's a pretty significant stretch. Let's nod our head yes. Let's shake our head no. Let's nod our head yes. Drop the hands back to the floor. Go ahead and place those hands on your thighs and roll it up nice and slow. Heel toe your feet back together. Let's take a deep breath in and a full breath out. And grab a sip of water. We're going to come to standing behind our chair. So as you stand behind your chair, make sure you've got your feet a good solid hip distance apart. We want to have a nice solid base. Your hands can rest here on the chair for a moment. Okay, so think about belly is tight throughout this entire movement. We're going to interlace our fingers, or if you want to just cut them, it's fine, right? I'm not huge on interlacing my fingers. I tend to prefer to cut, but I'll let you choose which one you want to do. All right, we're going to bring our hands up and behind our head. So as you're here, think about lifting through the chest, and the elbows are going to stay back. All right? So now we're going to slowly tuck our chin, round the spine, and let the head fall. We're not going to pull on the neck, and we're going to let those elbows fall forward. Okay, are we ready? Extending. Here we go. Slowly tuck that chin. Remember, belly stays tight. And then you're going to let your elbows just simply fall forward. But I don't want you to pull on the neck. You're just letting gravity give yourself a little extra tug on that neck, right? Just gently here. We're holding and we're breathing. We just have one more breath. We're going to lift back up, bringing those elbows nice and wide. Lift up. Okay, we're going to do that again. So here we go. We're going to pull that belly in, tuck the chin. Go ahead and begin to release. Elbows are going to come towards the floor. Now, as you're in this position, I want you to really let your jaw relax. Just breathe into the stretch, feeling and inviting openness into that neck and upper back. We're not holding our breath, we're just breathing. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath here. We're going to lift up nice and slow. We're going to bring those elbows nice and wide. Big stretch, open. And release. Woo! So just do a few little movements here. That was for me anyway, that's quite a stretch. Woo! Okay, excellent. So now we're going to take just a step back a little bit. We're going to move into a forward fold with our hands on the back of the chair. So again, we're maintaining that stabilizing position with our feet nice and wide, right? They're at least hip distance apart. We're going to pull our belly button in. Our hands are on the back of the chair, all right? So now, keeping the back flat, you're going to let your heart fall forward. Okay, you're holding on to the chair. Now, when you get to the position where your back is flat and your head, you're just kind of as far down as you can go. If you want a little bit more, you're going to go ahead and drop your head between your arms. So you should be feeling the back really stretching here. Okay, we just have 1 more breath. Go ahead and roll it up nice and slow. Don't want you to get dizzy, right? And come back up. Okay. So now what we're going to add on, you can keep doing it just like that if you want, but what we're going to add on if you want to is, I got to step back just a little bit further. So when we're down here, we're going to pull our shoulder blades behind, so it kind of externally rotating those shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades behind us. And then we're going to bend one knee and we're going to turn and look, all right? And we'll come up and we'll bend the other knee and we'll turn and look. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give it a try. See what you think. Okay, so our hands are on the chair. I have stepped back just a little bit further so that I can really, now I can, when I let my heart fall forward, I feel like I'm getting a little more stretch into those shoulders, all right? So here we go. Keep your belly tight though. Come down into that flat back first. So that's the position. Now from here, you're going to let that head fall. Okay. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back. Bend your right knee and you're going to turn and you're going to look at the opposite direction. So my side waist is stretching. I'm getting a nice stretch through the shoulders. All right, let's straighten that leg. Go ahead and look back down at the floor, if you will. And let's bend the other knee, and we're going to look the other direction. Let's straighten that leg. Go ahead and look down. See if you can let your heart fall any further. One more breath here, and we're going to roll it up nice and slow. Okay, very, very good. Excellent. So now I'm going to come a little bit closer to my chair. I'm a little too far away from it, from that position. My nose is itching. I'm sorry. Okay. So we're going to take our right hand and we're going to place it on the back of the chair, and the other hand is going to come back behind my seat, and I'm just going to pull this shoulder back and look. Okay, so that's the first version of this twist, and it's just fine. It's a great version. I'm getting a nice stretch through the center of the body. We're going to go ahead and look forward, and we're going to go the other way. So pull this shoulder back first, and then look, okay? And we're going to come center. Okay, so again, that's a great version. If you want a little bit more, the only difference in the next version is we're going to try to keep our hips facing forward. So I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to place it more on the opposite side of the chair. So instead of here, it's here. And now all of a sudden my hips want to move, right? I want you to keep those hips forward. Same thing, pull this shoulder back, bring your hand back by your tush, turn and look, but keep those hips forward. So you're going to stretch a little bit more, not only feeling the side waist, but I'm feeling my shoulders. Keep those shoulders down, out of the ears. My neck is feeling a little stretch too. One more breath. We're going to face forward. And let's do the other side. So this hand is going to come on the opposite side of that chair. The key here is keeping those hips forward, all right? If you let the hips move, it's the same as the previous stretch. And there's nothing wrong with it. All right, this hand is going to come back. Keep those hips forward. Pull this shoulder back. Turn and look. It's just different, right? I'm trying to give you options so that you feel a little bit different stretch. That's all. Let's do one more breath here. We're going to go ahead and release that, and we're going to face forward. Okay, so we're going to thread the needle. And again, I'm going to step back just a little bit further, but my hands do stay on the back of the chair. We're going to move into that forward fold. And then if you want to look at me real quick, sometimes I think it's easier than when you already get into it and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So we're going to come forward like we did with our forward fold. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our right hand and we're going to extend it up, and then we're going to bring it through, palms facing up, and my ear is going to be down towards the floor. It looks like nothing, but it's quite a stretch, okay? You're going to be feeling it in the shoulders and in the neck, and even some into that side waist. And then when we get in there, we're going to hold it for just a bit, all right? We're going to kind of settle into that and just hold that position for a little bit. All right, so are we ready? Put your hands on the back of the chair. Come into that flat back forward fold. So just a flat back. So we're not trying to get our head all the way down to the floor. We're just going to stay in this position of a forward fold. Okay, are we ready? All right, let's start with the right hand. It doesn't really matter. Let's bring it up first. So I'm kind of following my hand with my gaze, and then I'm going to bring it through. Palm's going to face up. Now my right ear is down towards the mat. And I'm holding it and I'm breathing. My knees are soft, right? So you don't want to be twisting in the hips. The hips stay facing forward, but you don't want to have those knees locked out either. Let's do that again. Hand comes up. I'm following it with my gaze. I'm bringing it through. That hand palm is facing up, and I'm looking at my palm. I'm holding and I'm breathing. Let's come up one last time. That hand comes up. My hips are staying stable. I'm pushing that hand through. Palm is facing up. One more breath. Release that. Come up to standing and take a moment. Okay? All right, so let's do the other side. So here we go. We're going to put our hands here on the chair. We're going to let that heart fall forward. Keep the back flat. Soft knees, right? So we just have that little soft bend to the knees. All right, here we go. Left-handed comes up. And we're going to bring it through. I'm following that hand with my gaze. Palm is facing up. Hips stay forward. Let's do that again. Up we go. Bring that hand through. Stretching. Really lengthening. That palm is up. We're stretching that hand through. Let's come up. All right, this is it. We're going to come through. That ear is towards the mat, and we're going to hold. We're going to sink into it. Knees are soft. Hips are facing forward. Belly is tight. You should really be feeling, I'm feeling my hips. I'm feeling my side waist. I'm feeling my shoulders, my neck. We have one more breath here. We're going to go ahead and come up nice and slow and release. I don't know if you heard that, but that was my knee that just cracked. Okay, let's go ahead and have a seat. Now, if you like to get into the floor ever, you can do that exact movement that we just did from your tabletop all four position, where you bring that hand up and through, that thread the needle, and it's a really nice one because you can get your shoulder onto the mat. You just get a little bit deeper stretch into the upper back. So if you want to ever try that one, it's a great one. All right, so let's take that deep inhalation and that complete exhalation. And grab a sip of water. You're going to let your arms just fall down by your side. So thinking about those shoulders are just like weights. The arms are weighting those shoulders down. Keep your belly nice and tight to stabilize your spine. You're going to begin to move those shoulders back and down. So we're squeezing our shoulder blades behind our back. Our hands are down by our side. Bring your chin to your chest. And we're going to hold this position for several breaths. Don't hold your breath, just breathing natural. We have one more breath here. We're going to release the shoulders first. Go ahead and roll and look up and take just a moment. Okay? Okay, we're going to do that again. We let those hands fall by our side. So feel the weight pulling those shoulders down. Now we're going to slowly move your shoulders back and down. Bring your chin to your chest. And hold and breathe. Don't hold your breath, just hold the position. Breathe naturally. One more breath here. Release the shoulders. Go ahead and look up. We're going to do that one more time. Let those hands fall down. Feel those shoulders dropping. Squeeze your shoulders behind you. Bring your chin down to your chest. Hold and breathe. We have one more breath here. Release the hands. Release that. Bring the head up and release it. If you want to roll those shoulders a little bit, that's fine. Okay. So for the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to drop our chin first towards our chest And then we're going to be bringing our gaze kind of back behind our shoulder. Okay, so you'll be, excuse me, dropping, and then you'll be looking, and then you'll come down and we'll look the other way. Okay, we'll take it nice and slow. Again, our arms are down by our side, letting the shoulder, the weight of the arms really pull those shoulders down. Okay, all right, so here we go. We're going to pull that belly button in, and we're going to take our gaze down, dropping that chin, taking the gaze down to the lap. Okay. Now from here, you're going to turn your gaze and you're going to look over that left shoulder. We just have one more breath here. Bring the gaze back down to your lap. And then you're going to be looking over the other shoulder. So it's not just to the side. Really, you need to feel that like you're trying to look over the shoulder to really maximize the stretch in that neck. Again, these are scalene stretches. Bring the head down. Really feel that back of the neck stretching before you go to the other side. Kind of making that big circle feeling, right? We're looking over that shoulder. That neck is really, really stretching. Hands stay down by your side, feeling those shoulders down towards the floor. Let's go ahead and look down at your lap. Last time, here we go. Last side, looking over that opposite shoulder. One more breath here. Go ahead and look back down at your lap. Release the shoulders and look up. Oh, or look towards me. That is quite a stretch for me. I don't know if you felt it or not, but okay. So we're going to do a little isometric resistance stretching here. So you're going to look straight ahead, and your chin is tucked, your head is long, right? Not tucked back like this, but just a natural. I want you to have a nice long spine. Okay. So now you're going to take your palm and you're going to place it on your forehead and you're going to apply pressure. So I'm pressing in with my palm and I want you to resist the movement. So your head is pressing forward. So I want you to resist the palm pressing back. Does that make sense? Release it. And we're going to do that again. Palm comes up, applies pressure to the forehead. Resist that movement. Don't hold your breath, just hold the pressure here. Release it. We're going to do that again. Palm comes, applies pressure, your forehead resists that movement. And release. Now, I like doing this one with both palms. You can do it with one. I'm going to do it with both. So now, the hands are on the back of my head, and I'm going to press my head back into my hand. So again, it's that isometric. You're resisting that movement. Hold it and release it. Let's do that again. Pressing the back of the head into the palms of the hands and the palms of the hands forward and release it. Last one. Press it back. Hold it. Breathe. One more breath and release. Give it just a couple of shoulder rolls there if you want. Okay. So now we're going to begin. Again, we're going to look down. We're going to look forward and feel the lengthening through the spine with that natural chin tuck. Okay. Roll your shoulders back and down, engaging the muscles in the back. All right. Now maintain this tension, and I want you to slowly tilt your head backwards so that you're looking up at the ceiling. We're going to tuck our chin, and we're going to look down at the floor. Let's do that again. We're going to look up. And we're going to look down. And release. Man, those are some good stretches, right, for the neck. I don't know if you felt it, but I did. Okay, so we're now going to move into a seated pigeon pose. So I'm going to take my ankle and I'm going to place it here on my knee. Remember, you can always cross ankle to ankle if that feels better for you. But I've got ankle to knee, and I'm going to extend through the spine, and I'm going to let my heart fall forward. Seated pigeon pose, we're getting a nice stretch into that hip and glute area. We're going to go ahead and lift that heart up. Just flutter your butterfly wing a little bit. And we're going to do that same thing again. Extend through the spine, pull that belly in, let the heart fall forward. If you want to gently press on this leg, you can. Maybe give you a little bit more stretch, your choice. Go ahead and lift up, and let's put that leg down. We're going to the other side, all right? So remember, ankle to ankle is fine if you want to do it that way, or you can do ankle to knee. Extending through the spine, pull the belly in, let the heart fall forward. Seated pigeon. Let's go ahead and lift up. Flutter that butterfly wing a little bit if you want. Extend the spine long. Let that heart fall forward. Remember, if you like to press a little bit here, that's fine. Let's go ahead and come up. Place that foot on the floor. Go ahead and sit back. You can lean back if you wish. Place your hands lightly on your thighs. Flip those palms up to the ceiling. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Fulfillment in the journey. Push without being pushy. Give everything to the effort while expecting nothing from the result. Let your fulfillment be in making it happen, not in having made it happen. If the result is fulfilling, as it often will be, that's a bonus. You have much more control over your actions than you do over the results of your actions. Keep your focus on what you can control and refuse to be dissuaded by factors you cannot control. Your results are indications of your success, but they are not the substance of your success. That substance is in the value you create along the way. It's a form of value that will always exist, no matter how any particular result plays out. It's value that you can expand upon in every area of your life. Find your success and fulfillment in the journey, and you'll enable yourself to reach countless amazing destinations. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Reach up with your right hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that opposite hand down towards the floor. Release it. Drop your chin towards your chest. Reach up with your hands. Give the head a gentle tug. Release it. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Reach up with the left hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that opposite hand down towards the floor. Resist it. Release it. Look up just slightly. Open your mouth if you want to stretch your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. If you would click on that subscribe button, I would appreciate it. I will see you next time.